hadn't actually intended to follow the group all the way here, but here we are, and we might actually be able to make it into the Church of the Holy Sepulcher or the Church of Anastasius, depending on whether you're Catholic or Orthodox. And yes, apparently this little chapel here is alleged to be where Golgotha was, according to tradition, and here was supposedly where the tomb of Jesus was, as ascertained by Queen Helen, the mother of Constantine. Unlike last time we were here in 2018, it looks like we're having no trouble getting inside. So, last time we got in, and shortly after we did, there was some fight broke out and the doors were shut for a month. Hopefully we won't have that going on this time around. And here are the stairs that lead up to Golgotha Chapel. Tradition says that this version of Golgotha is built on the skull of the first man, Adam. And it is upon him that Jesus was crucified, essentially, rather than it being a description of a certain location. This is an area I've never been to, and the mosaics here are dating from the Crusader times, although they were renovated in the late 20th century by the Franciscans. Our guide tells us that the reason the scene of Isaac's sacrifice is shown here is that Jesus represents basically the lamb that took Isaac's place, a prefiguration, if you will, of his incarnation. For myself, I can understand the need for beauty to commemorate and hopefully honor God, but I have to admit it's a bit overwhelming here. It doesn't seem to give as much evidence to what it covers up, much like it's hard to find the actual grotto in the middle of the Church of the Nativity. It feels odd, but I understand that this was how the church at that time wanted to commemorate what was there. To a certain extent, it makes sense, and to another, I can see why the Lord took issue with Peter attempting to create a commemoration of the Transfiguration. Basically, that wasn't as important as what actually happened. Again, the artwork is magnificent, and it certainly is put up here with the best of intentions. And this is... So, we move from the preparation table to the structure, which is supposedly where the tomb is located. Outside we can see the Chapel of the Angels, it's so called, because this is where the angels met the women on Sunday morning to say he is not here, he is risen. And then further inside is the actual tomb itself. I've only discovered after the fact you're not supposed to film within the sepulcher, and so for legal reasons, I'm not going to include that in here. Though the back side of the sepulcher has almost looks like a writing desk or something. Without context, I really don't know what's going on.
Although, in spite of its very miserable condition, the Assyrian community over here is quite small and not very wealthy. They decided not to restore this chapel after it was hurt in a fire in the beginning of the 20th century. But it does have one of the most important and interesting places in the church, and that is this cave over here. This is a Jewish burial cave from 2,000 years ago, in the days of Jesus. You can go inside. I would suggest that you turn on your flashlight in order to see better, because they're not to stumble. When you go inside, you're going to see that there are still 3 holes where you can lay a whole body extended family, and usually had somewhere 6, 8, 10, or even 12 beds inside. Why do you need so many beds? If more than one family member dies in the same year, you will simply put it in a different bed. After a year, the family will come and collect those bones of the deceased person, and they will place it in a small sarcophagus, this size, okay, as long as the longest bone that we have in the body, the thigh bone, and that box or that sarcophagus was placed next to the other sarcophagus of the family. So I think they told you that already in the north when we were, but when you, in Hebrew or in the Bible, when you want to say that somebody died, one of the ways of saying that is that he was gathered to his ancestors. Okay? Very little. Yeah.
And this is what it looks like on the inside. It is dark. And it is uneven. And there is nothing I can honestly film in here, actually. Okay, well, the fact that it has some tombs in here, other than the one around which the chapel is built, does seem to lend some credence to the place. But again, without a body, we don't know. But with a body, we ruin the whole thing. If Christ is not raised, our faith is in vain, and we are among all men most miserable. Fortunately, that's not an issue, but it does mean that we can't actually find where it is. And the debate will continue probably until eternity.